Coming up on Valley News Now, it is a bit of a chilly one out there, but we got a warm up coming this weekend. We'll send it to Lisa for our weather. Well, that's not all we got here on the dock today. A jackpotting scheme comes to a bit of a conclusion as 2 of the 4 men in that scheme have been sentenced. And then we'll cover a Fargo man who has also been sentenced to more than 2 decades plus in prison. All that and more. Valley News Now is live. And thank you very much for joining us here on Valley News Now. Duke Schindler joining you here on this Friday late morning. And we got a lot in store here for the show today, but we're going to start it off with the weather, as it's been a bit of a chilly one, like you just heard me say. It's going to be sticking around here for quite a little bit, at least throughout the day. So we're going to send it over to Lisa here for the weather, then take a look at what's coming up. Lisa.
Good morning. Today is a colder day yet again. We've got this wind out of the northwest, gusts into the 20s and 30 miles per hour. So driving in that cooler air. And so our temperatures in the teens and 20s feel even chillier. Some single digit wind chills this morning and continuing on into the afternoon. And there have been some areas of some isolated flakes still ongoing. Those will be moving out with clearing skies continuing. So more and more of us get to see that sunshine before it sets tonight. Now looking at the 9 o'clock hour, we're clear, which would normally mean a drop in our numbers from the 20s and 30s this afternoon. And we do start to see that drop. But look where the wind is going. Out of the south, that's warmer air that's going to be rushing in for the day on Saturday. That's going to turn things around for us. And you could see temperatures by Saturday afternoon into the 40s and 50s. And looking at our weekend, partly cloudy skies both days feeling much milder and more spring-like for the weekend.
And thank you very much for that, Lisa. Now we'll be taking a look at kind of the extended forecast and what we're expecting here. Obviously, you just heard from Lisa. Chilly, flaky Friday before this weekend warm-up, 23 degrees. We're sitting at right now. Some significant wind, I would say, 15 miles an hour coming out of the northwest. That is without gusts. But taking a look at how this day is stacking up, we're going to be seeing some clouds, maybe some flakes here for the next hour or two, but then we see a little bit of a clear up. 3 p.m. mostly sunny. 4, 5, 6, 7 all sunny. Expect that sunshine to melt whatever's really left of this very, very minor snowfall. Then into the night we hit about 25, 24, get all the way down to about 19. But it is the quick warm-up you see right there, from 19 to 38 from 7 to 10 a.m. And it only gets warmer from there, getting all the way up to 56 at 5 p.m. So looking pretty good for the weekend. Now taking a look at the 10-day, you can just see it right there on your screen. Right, going to be a little chilly today, but then we got 56 on Saturday, 61 on Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday looking pretty fine as well, 56, 54. A little bit of a drop off here, but if you ask me, it's such a weird weather time, this early April, late March type of deal we're dealing with. Well, you're going to get days like that. So we're going to bring it back here and get to some of our headlines. As a Fargo man now going to spend 2 decades plus in prison for the deadly stabbing outside of a South Fargo bar. Now in court yesterday, 28-year-old Michael Diedrich was sentenced to 24 years and 6 months behind bars at the North Dakota Department of Corrections. That follows 5 years of probation afterwards. Now Diedrich did enter an Alford plea in the 2024 stabbing death of Ethan Larson. The plea also allows defendants to maintain their innocence while admitting prosecutors have enough evidence to convict them of a crime. And we'll stick with that sort of sentencing, as 2 of the 4 men accused in this ATM jackpotting scheme in Detroit Lakes, well, they have been sentenced. Pull it up right here. Those are the 4 men on your screen. Becker County court records show Snyder Jose Yoris Torres and Anthony Javier Sanchez Paez each got 1 year in the Becker County Jail, plus 2 years of unsupervised probation. Investigators say the men were trying a crime known as jackpotting. That is hacking into an ATM's internal computer to force it to spit out cash without a valid card. 2 other men from the Denver area still have these cases pending. Then in Duluth, quite the story here. A centuries-old cemetery is eroding and exposing human remains. A family visiting Scandia Cemetery discovered human bones in the summer of 2024 on the beach just below the cemetery. The county is also asking for $2.5 million to build a retaining wall, which would end up being cheaper than relocating all of the graves. Now, if the grant is approved, construction likely won't start until the spring of 2027. And then we also had a big one in North Dakota. Well, I guess I should say in Sioux Falls, the madness is not just on the basketball court. The NCAA men's hockey tournament dropping the puck yesterday. Number 2 seed, UND, facing off against Merrimack. So let me get those stats pulled up here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Should have had this ready to rock for you guys. I apologize here. We'll get this pulled up. I had this written somewhere. All right, we got it here as we'll take a look. UND, of course, pitching a shutout against Merrimack. No surprise there, but this one, a bit of a test for UND. Go ahead and take a look at the scoring summary here. It was a bit of a test, no walk in the park for this team, but it sure felt like it at the beginning of the game. As 4 minutes in, Will Zellers did fire a shot off the goaltender. Cody Kroll grabbing the rebound, punching it in as UND would go up 1-0. But then scoring would stall until the third period, 16 minutes left in the game. Will Zellers fired a cross-ice pass in the Merrimack zone, picked up by Ellis Rickwood. Then it's over to Dylan James right next to the net, who'd put it home, giving UND the 2-0 lead. Then, just for good measure, Fighting Hawks grabbing an empty net goal and finish off Merrimack to finish off and head on to round 2, 3-0. Now, next up for UND, that's going to be Quinnipiac and puck drop for the Frozen Four. I should say Final 8. Winner goes to the Frozen Four. That puck drop's happening Saturday at 6 p.m. Well, happening today and tomorrow as well. Get your cowboy hats and boots on because the Fargo PRCA Rodeo is taking over the Fargo Dome. Valley Today's Sayla Jakeway joins us from the Fargo Dome with a sneak peek at what people can expect. Sayla.
Well, that's right, and your girl has got her cowgirl boots and her hat because she is ready for the PRCA Rodeo. I have a Destin here who is our rodeo clown, here to make smiles all throughout the crowd. Now, talk to me about your specific role and kind of the fun and excitement that happens throughout these rodeos.
All the dead time goes straight to me, and I've got to make something funny out of it. So that's my job, and having fun with the crowd, that's the reason why I'm here, and taking away from the dead times that happens during rodeos, and I actually get to have a little fun with it.
Now, during those dead times, there's opportunities not only to smile, but also to win some cool prizes. Let's talk about what you have in your hand here.
This is a cut above buckle. This is a true fan of the night buckle from Big Bucks Pro Rodeo, and I want to tell you something. You can't get a better buckle than this right here, and I give one away each performance that we do all year long, so there's 2 going away here at Fargo.
Wow, well, I'll tell you, this is very beautiful and quite heavy. You would be very surprised to feel how much weight that it carries. Yeah. Now, outside of that, we're in a very unique piece of equipment here. You're not just a rodeo clown. You have some other fun skills that you bring as well.
I'm a barrel man. It helps the bullfighters do what they do best, to stay in front of the bulls. Well, when they get a boo-boo, I get to come in with this thing and save the day. So I'm truly the He-Man of the rodeo. I can promise you that.
Wow. Now tell me, because the bull is hitting this as you're going, what's the furthest that you've been kind of hit out of the arena?
About 30, 40 foot. I've been hit during one hit, I've went about 30 or 40 feet. It depends on how many times they hit you. Usually barrels that are built, they're built steel barrels, so they're real heavy. This is an aluminum barrel, so it's a faster spinning barrel than most barrels, and it gets away from the bulls pretty quickly.
Wow, well, such a brave man, to say the least. I think I'd be very terrified to be in one of these things with those bulls moving around. But outside of just the bull riding, there's going to be a plethora of different events that you can come and witness if this is either your first time or maybe your 50th time. I think it's a spectacular opportunity for all who enjoy rodeo to witness this. We had some beautiful horses just behind us here that you'll get to see doing some great activities. There's about 7 different activities that will be happening, all these competitions. There's national individuals from all over the country and outside the country. We're talking about even Canada, who are coming today and tomorrow to compete. And we're talking about for a national title here. So there's a lot that's on the line. Now, if you're interested, this again is happening at the Fargo Dome. So be here or be square. And howdy, y'all. I'll bring it back to you.
What a performance by Sayla there, as well as the rodeo clown. All right, before we let you guys go, we're going to take a look at some of these road conditions here. Obviously, starting off in Minnesota because it is looking just A-okay around the area. We'll check on a few spots that may have seen a couple flakes, but it sure doesn't look like it here down 94. Looking pretty good on the Minnesota side of the border, so we're just going to start moving on. Let's play a video just for the heck of it. See if we can't get something on US 10 off of First Avenue. Probably not. All right, very nice. Let's move on to North Dakota and give you a look at what things are looking like right now around the area. Around Fargo and south of Fargo, we'll start just about there. Looking pretty fine. There's nothing too much of note. We did see a few flakes here drop from the skies this morning, but I'm not sure if that's tapered off or not. Been inside this building a little too long already. All right. Yep, it's looking good in Fargo, outside of Fargo. Going up north, we see a little bit of what we could say scattered snow drifts near the Grand Forks area. Right outside, not looking too bad. A little bit north, not too bad. Not too many scattered snow drifts, but obviously who's ever running this is making sure everyone's on the safe side. Let's see if we can find a little action near Grafton. Yeah, definitely a little more coverage, but really pretty picture. Nice. Anyways, a little near Cavalier. Yep, looking about the same. Some snow still sticking around, but some significance here around Lakota, or Devil's Lake, I should say. Yeah, there's some, but nothing significant, nothing that I see that would hinder road conditions if you're heading to lunch, if you're on your way back home from work. Yeah, just there around Devil's Lake looking like seasonal conditions. I guess you got a little bit of accumulation coverage there on North Dakota 57 near Detroit Lake, wow, I can't believe I'm saying that again. Devil's Lake, excuse me. Yeah, a little bit more significant coverage around Devil's Lake here. We'll see what's happening there in New Rockford. Maybe seeing a little ice. There's some accumulation. It's always a little weird around this time with weather because you never know if that snow's really melting or freezing. So always be wary of that. But otherwise, we're looking at pretty decent conditions here from around the area. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys very much for joining us here on the stream. Valley News Now at 11. If you have a smartphone mobile device, make sure you have the VNL app downloaded. You can get Valley News Now at 11 at any time, especially at 11 when the show goes live. Otherwise, we have plenty of other shows to check out. So make sure you have that app downloaded on your phone as well as the smart TV like the one behind me. You get all the same content and you never miss a beat. So thank you very much for joining us here once again on the Valley News Now desk. For Duke Schindler, we'll catch you later.